Hello everybody, Big Beardy One here today, and we are doing another video. I haven't done one for a few days, so I thought I'd best get some of them out there to you. Before I get started, I just want to give a massive shout out to Pete the Courier driver. He mentioned me on his Sunday Q&A, which I wasn't expecting, and I think I just need to say thanks Pete for basically mentioning me. I love your videos and I love watching them, and you doing your videos made me think, actually I can probably do those as well, and that's why I'm here doing these. So go and check him out. It's, his opinion's probably a little bit different than mine about stuff, but it's always good to get different people's opinions, and hopefully I'm just another voice letting you folks out there know what's going on. So today we're talking about, this is more for people who are looking to get into the industry. We're talking about things that you might not necessarily know before you get started, and you might want to know. So I'm going to cover 3 topics on before you buy sort of thing. First is are you going to enjoy the job? Second is how it's going to affect your social life, and third of all, the big one, what sort of money can you be expecting to fork out before you get started. So straight off the bat, first one, if you don't enjoy driving or being on the road for long periods of time, this is not the job for you. You are going to be on the road for 10 to 15 hours a day. It's going to be long, hard days. You're going to be up early, finishing late. A lot of the time you're going to be sleeping in your van. If you don't enjoy van life or driving or just being on the road, you will hate this job. So first thing to ask yourself, will I enjoy being on the road all day, every day? And if the answer is no, don't become a courier driver. Pretty simple. Be that multi-drop or long distance or whatever, you're in the van a long time. So, second of all, you've got to be comfortable in your own head when you do what we do, I think, because it's quite a lonely pursuit. You're on your own in a van for, like I said, 12, 13, 14 hours a day, just with yourself. If you don't enjoy your own company, as it were, which might sound a bit weird, you're probably not going to enjoy this job. I'm quite happy to sit in a van for 3-4 hours with no music on, nothing, just talking. I talk to myself. I'm slightly tapped in the head. I do. I catch myself having full-on blown conversations with myself. I might need to be sectioned, but that's a different story altogether. So you have to be comfortable in your own head. But at the same time, you have to be quite a social person, I think, doing this job, because you're going to pull up to places you don't know where you are. You're talking to generally strangers all the time when you're dropping off or picking up, unless you go to a regular place. So you have to be able to make conversation. I call them 5-minute friendships, where you just literally, you're talking about whatever, football, weather, whatever it may be, with someone, and you're probably never going to see them again. They're little 5-minute friendships. Second thing, how is this job going to affect yourself when it comes to hobbies, family, social life? Because it does affect it quite drastically. You are going to spend a lot of time in the van away from the people you love. It's as simple as that. You're going to spend overnights in vans, you're going to be tramping, you're going to be going all over the country. You're going to have days when you wake up at silly o'clock in the morning, you don't get home till silly o'clock at night, and then all you want to do is go to bed because you're knackered. So if you've got a young family, or you're not, you're very family orientated, might not be the best job for you. Because you will be spending a lot of time away from those people. Same with hobbies and stuff. I was, I've had a hobby that I've had to drop because I just don't have the time for them anymore. Obviously, they weren't serious hobbies, but you might be playing football when you might have to train in the week, or rugby, or there might be something else you do in the week that you might have to sort of forego for this career, because you can't guarantee when you're going to be home. It's not like a lot of jobs. The buzzer goes at 5 o'clock. You're home at 5:30. You have your dinner and go and do what you want to do. Every day's different. So be aware of that. Thirdly, and probably most importantly, and what most people out there listening to this is probably thinking, get on with it, Big Beardy, is financial. How much does it cost to get set up and get working? And I'll be honest, and I'll be honest right away, it's not cheap. You have a lot of things you have to consider. First of all, if you don't already own a van, you've got to get a van. Vans are not cheap. You either have to buy one outright, lease one, or get one on finance. But either way, it's not going to be cheap. Then you have to think about your insurance. You've got to insure a van. You need the van insurance, you need hire and ward, you need goods in transit, whatever insurance you may need, that's going to be quite expensive, especially compared to a car, and especially if you are not already a courier. This is one thing I think people don't realise is you might have 10 years no claims on your car. It doesn't actually count for when you become a courier driver. You're back to square one because you have gone from it being a personal vehicle to a commercial vehicle. So that no claims, they will take into consideration, but it's not the same. So bear that in mind. Next thing is equipment. You don't need a huge amount of equipment for doing this job. You know, you need a sat barrow, some straps, maybe some removal blankets, and some high-vis stuff. Really, I'll do a video. My next video will be on the equipment you actually need in your van. So it's not that much, and it's going to cost you a little bit, but it's not hideously expensive compared to, you know, let's say becoming a carpenter where you've got to buy various amounts of tools. You don't need a huge amount, but it's still an expense. Take that into consideration, have a look, see how much things cost, write it all down so you know exactly how much you're forking out up front. Also, if you don't already have your customers, you have to get customers, and you might have to go onto something like the Courier Exchange, like Shipley, City Sprint, whatever, which one you're looking at doing. And when it comes to things like the Courier Exchange, and I use the Courier Exchange like in all my videos because that's the one I use, so it's the example I use. You have to pay up front, 12 months up front. It's a big chunk of cash straight out the bat, so you have to take that into consideration. Well, that's something money you're forking out before you're making any money, so be aware of that. And then probably the biggest expense you get, apart from buying a van, but it's an ongoing expense, is petrol. You've got to keep running. To fill a tank of petrol is, let's say, £90 roughly nowadays, depending on the size and type of van. And that will get you around 500 miles. So you're going to be filling up your tank every other day, maybe once a day. Who knows how far you're going. You're going to be spending a lot on petrol, and when you send your invoices in, and we all know this, you don't get paid when you drop off. You're waiting maybe 30, 60, some cases longer to be paid. So you have to have a bit in the bank to pay for the petrol whilst you're running. Now, the Courier Exchange is actually, I got an email, I think it was Thursday, saying they had scrapped 60 days from end of month on their invoices, which is fantastic. So they are listening, and it's brought that time down. I very rarely got jobs which were that length of time, but at least they are starting to listen to what we're saying. So you get that money a little bit quicker than possibly some other jobs where you wouldn't. But anyway, so you've got to take into consideration how much petrol you're going to spend. Another big expense which you might not think, because you know, oh, it might not happen to me, and it will, is repairs, services, MOTs. These are things you will pay later, but they will cost you. You will spend a lot of money keeping your van on the road. It's not a cheap vehicle to run, and when things go wrong, it will cost you a lot of money. You know, even something that seems quite simple can cost you quite a bit. Putting new tyres on a van is not cheap, so bear that in mind as well. So what I suggest to anyone who's out there looking at joining the industry, first things first, think, am I actually going to enjoy doing that job? Then think, what effect is it going to have on my social life and my family life? Is that something I'm willing to do? And then third of all, think, can I afford it, or do I have to go and find ways of finding money to get me started? Because the last thing I want anyone to do out there is to go out, buy a van, get the finance, get on the road, pay all that money out, and then within a week go, I hate this job. You know, so it's better that you get that all sorted now. There are ways of getting finance together, like grants. You can get a business account set up, and generally you can get an overdraft on that for £1,000 or £2,000, which can help you get moving. Credit cards, go speak to your banks about those. I'm not going to do a video on how to fund yourself to get started. I don't have enough information, and I'm not a banker. So go speak to people who know that better than I do. But there are ways of getting set up if you don't have the money yourself. So bear that in mind. I hope this helps some of you guys out there. I hope it's opened some of your eyes out there and gone, actually, yeah, I should really think about that, or I should look into how much it's going to cost me. And then if you think, yep, I enjoy driving, yep, it's not going to affect my family life too much, or I'm willing to make that sacrifice, and yes, I've got the money to get going, then by all means go for it if you think it's right for you. I hope this helped. If you've liked this video, please like, comment and subscribe. I really do appreciate your comments and people talking to me. I try and talk to as many people as possible. But as always, be safe out there and have a great day.